Pope Leo is celebrating his first Mass after his historic election as the first American pontiff. We're going to give you a live look inside the famed Sistine Chapel with the College of Cardinals in attendance.
Called me
and Christina Fan here in the studio
cross
joins
and to be
us
blessed
live with
with
what
that
we
mission.
Can expect in the latest, Christina.
And I know I can rely
yes, good
on
morning,
each and
Natalie
every
and
one of
Cindy.
you
Again,
to walk
this is
with
Pope
me
Leo's very first
continue
Mass with cardinals as the
church,
new leader of the world's
community of friends of Jesus
1.4 billion
believers
Catholics. We want to show you video of him moments ago entering the Sistine Chapel. We even heard him sing part of the Mass, something we rarely saw his predecessor, Pope Francis, do. Leo is the first pontiff from the Augustinian order, and during his first blessing yesterday, the spirit of community at the heart of the order was clear as he urged people to build bridges and embrace dialogue.
It's been a whirlwind few hours since Cardinal Robert Prevost became Pope Leo XIV. Thursday evening, he made a surprise appearance in the Vatican Palace, where he lived before his election as pontiff. He greeted some faithful in the courtyard, posed for photos, and at the end gave everyone a blessing. Catholic cardinals broke with tradition Thursday, electing the first pontiff from the U.S. in the church's close to 2,000-year history. An hour after white smoke billowed from the chimney of the Sistine Chapel, Pope Leo emerged and addressed the world for the first time.
La pace sia con tutti voi.
Telling the crowd, peace be with you all. Prevost was chosen to be the 267th Pope of the Roman Catholic Church on day 2 of the conclave. But before he became known as Pope Leo, he grew up as the youngest of 3 brothers in the South Chicago suburb of Dolton.
This is a picture of the 3 of us as we were young.
His brothers say from an early age he knew he wanted to be a priest.
When he was in, I think, 1st grade, one of the neighborhood ladies across the street said to him, "You will be the first American Pope." She knew that. She sensed that at 6 years old. How she did that, who knows?
It was like, oh my God, it's Rob. It's never going to be the same. What are we going to do? Oh, yes, it's Rob. Yeah.
Leo graduated in 1977 from Villanova University in Pennsylvania, an Augustinian Catholic university where he studied math. Based on his actions, he is similar to Pope Francis in his outreach to the poor and migrant communities. He supported his predecessor's decision to allow divorced Catholics receive communion. But records show he is more conservative when it comes to doctrine. He does not support ordaining female deacons. Pope Leo has dual citizenship between the U.S. and Peru, where he served for years. In 2023, Pope Francis elevated his future successor to cardinal. Now he is the leader of the world's 1.4 billion Roman Catholics.
And Vatican watchers say Prevost's decision to name himself Leo was particularly significant given the previous Leo's legacy of social justice and reform. Cindy, back to you.
All right, Christina, thank you. We have been watching live as the new Pope celebrates his first Mass with the Cardinals in the Sistine Chapel. Father Thomas Massaro is a professor of theology at Fordham University, joins us now. And Father, how does it make you feel watching this historic moment?
Well, I'm sure I join with Catholics around the world, 1.4 billion of us, who are just delighted to have a pope. It's always a little bit sad after losing a pope, beloved as Francis, having a 2 or 3 week interregnum, we call it, when the seat is empty, sede vacante is the Latin, and then filling the seat with a new, fresh face. And he seems to be very relatable for us Americans, especially.
And what can you tell us about the Mass itself, what we're going to see this morning?
Well, please realize that this is only a small Mass. Sistine Chapel is a pretty small space, beautiful as it is. What we're really waiting for are 2 upcoming events. On Sunday, the Pope, whenever he's in Rome, will give an Angelus address. It's a short prayer about Mary and the angel that came to visit her. And then the Pope usually extemporizes, says a few paragraphs, maybe 2 pages of text. So that's Sunday at noon Rome time. And then the bigger event will be less than a week from now, probably 4 or 5 days from now. He will give his first inaugural Mass. That won't be a small little Mass in Sistine Chapel. That'll be at St. Peter's Basilica. And he'll give a long homily, probably 20 minutes, and he'll talk about the themes he wants to treat as Pope, his priorities, just as Pope Francis had his 12 years ago.
And this is the first time we're seeing him on the job as Pope. What is the message Pope Leo XIV is sending today?
Well, we're all trying to read the tea leaves, right? What is he going to be like in the future? We know a little bit about his past. Villanova is a good start, and he has a doctoral degree in canon law. That's very impressive. So he's well-educated, very dedicated. He served 20 years in Peru. He seems to love the people of the Chiclayo diocese, where he served as bishop for 8 years. But about the future, we'll be looking for little hints. And so far, he's given us hints about continuity with Pope Francis. He thanked Pope Francis on the balcony yesterday. He used two of Pope Francis's favorite phrases. One is an open church. He likes that image of open arms, open to the world. And he used the word synod, and that's a big initiative of Pope Francis to bring more participation into the church. He'll be different to some extent, maybe in style, maybe in substance, but I'm looking forward to reading those tea leaves.
And finally, Father, what are your hopes for the new Pope as he settles into the role?
Well, the most troublesome thing about our world today is the armed conflict going on. So Ukraine, Gaza, there are many other places, especially in Congo and Sudan, where people are dying, civilians are dying. Pope Francis spent so much time and energy trying to bring about peace. He was successful in places like Colombia and South Sudan, but there's so much more work to be done. I hope that this Pope really will be a successful peacemaker.
Fordham University professor Father Thomas Massaro, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks, Cindy.
And now we are going to take a look back at the Mass, and we're going to just quietly listen in for a few moments here.
Essi incarnano infatti idee che potremmo ritrovare facilmente, magari espresse con un linguaggio diverso, ma identiche nella sostanza, sulla bocca di molti uomini e donne del nostro tempo. Anche oggi non sono pochi i contesti in cui la fede cristiana è ritenuta una cosa assurda per persone deboli, poco intelligenti, contesti in cui ad essa si preferiscono altre sicurezze, come la tecnologia.
And we've been listening into Pope Leo XIV leading his first Mass inside the Sistine Chapel, and we'll have continuing coverage of the new Pope, the American Pope, on air and streaming on CBS News New York.